Hello, everyone. This is Teacher Pat here with part two of how I became a contracted teacher. And yes, I have flowers in my hair. I just finished teaching online, but that's a whole other story. Uh, so, just to recap, I had been really wanting to be able to teach with my children, and back in the day that seemed like an impossibility. And if y'all know that, I've been praying about it, and I went ahead and took a step. And the last you heard, I had 30 students enroll, and that was my very first year, and that was an amazing amount of money. Let's just say, okay, so I could give you the numbers. I was charging at the time, and I think, and frankly, I still do. As a matter of fact, now, I mean, that was 30 years ago, so that was quite a bit. But it was like $10 per student. Okay, so, and remember, these are all homeschool students, and they were coming from all over, not just the city that I teach in. They were coming from out of town too. And the reason why, I know this may kind of mess with some of you, but I studied biology, and I got my degree. Excuse me. Oh, from St. Mary's University. And so I studied biology, and that was my certification as secondary teacher, certified as a secondary teacher. And I did teach in a public school for 6 years. So I taught biology, and I was now teaching biology to homeschoolers. And I taught 30 kids, and my forte is actually dissection. Yes, dissection. I can hear some of y'all go, ooh. But yes, I dissect everything you could imagine. It was like the worm, the clam, the starfish, the crayfish, the perch, the bird, the frog, the shark, a cat, a rabbit, a fetal pig. I mean, all of that. And so I had designed a class for these homeschoolers where they would come to me and we would do hands-on lab. And that's how it started and went for almost about 25 years. And there was a little change, and that would be another story. But because I've already, to be honest, up to now, I've been teaching about 35 years doing this. And this was my own business, and something that, I just decided doing because one mother asked me to tutor her daughter biology. And it so happens the daughter did take my biology too with this group. So her mom was really happy about it, and she doesn't really realize what she did by asking that one question, how it affected my whole family's life. But anyway, so I started teaching, and I must have taught maybe a couple of classes when all of a sudden there was one day one mother came up to me and said, Mrs. Valdez, I have something for you. And then she handed me 20 sets of surgical tools. I was like, where did this come from? And she goes, well, that's the thing. The person who donated it to you wanted to remain anonymous. So it was actually a physician who they performed surgery and decided, instead of throwing them out, decided to give them to me. And even to this day, I think I have a couple of those surgical scissors the original surgical scissors from 35 years ago, and I will say those things still do cut. I mean, I find them amazing. But anyway, so I have to just say with that, I knew what I was doing was meant to be, because here I was taking this leap of faith and then this step to do this job, and I mean, it just financially really helped us out. At the time, I had 2 children at this time, and actually now I have I eventually ended up having four sons, and that's a whole other story too. One of these days I'll teach something on that about raising sons. I'll teach about raising sons. But anyway, let's go back to the story. So here I am, and it was like a high-rise building. I was in the 2nd floor, and I learned from the very beginning that the only way to move everything around was rolling suitcases. So I invested in rolling suitcases. And I didn't always buy brand new. I mean, if I went to a flea market or a garage sale or whatever and I found a rolling suitcase, I was going to grab it. And that's how I would move all my equipment. And so, actually, I actually have one of those original suitcases. But it was just a joy to teach. I had so much fun with these students. They were, majority were so well behaved, and you gotta understand, this group of children, their parents are really part of their lives, so they're on top of them. In other words, they were not children that were disruptive or a problem. And that to me was nice, because all I was doing was teaching. In the public school system, you're always having to do paperwork or reprimanding, or it's more complicated. It wasn't so fun like this was, because really the students only came to me once a week. So figure this out. That's going back to the numbers. Okay, so each student is paying me $10 to meet me once a week. Figure it, 30 kids. So how much was I making in an hour and a half? Yes, $300 an hour and a half. So it was very good, and it was very profitable to me. I did have to take out for supplies, and I supplied gloves, and I supplied the tools, but of course I put a little blurb that the tools were for rent, and I had trays. And that's another thing. Another physician, I don't know where that came. Oh, it was a friend of mine. Her husband was an anesthesiologist. Now, this was not the person who donated the surgical tools, because that was another lady from one of the moms from those children. But another friend of mine, her husband was the anesthesiologist, and he donated trays for me. These were where the tools were placed, and I used those year after year after year, and sometimes they would break, and I would give her a phone call. Does your husband have any more? And she would supply me with more. So I was being blessed left and right, and I just knew that the path that I was taking was meant to be, because everything was being supplied. I'm checking my time, because you know me, and oh my gosh, I only have 15 seconds left. I'm going to stop that right there. I don't think I have much done in 10 minutes, but I'm going to stop right there, and then I'll go into detail next time, part 3, about how I taught and how I continued to do it through the years. All right, I'll see you next time. This is Teacher Pat. Happy teaching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to make more videos each week on teaching something, but right now I'm just telling you about how I became a contracted science teacher. See you next time. Bye-bye.